Jack, you're muted.
All right, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Well, Jack has technical difficulties. We'll go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of TVL. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. As you guys know, both Jack and I are on our way to Asia Blockchain Summit. So as we travel, right now we're in Asia Pacific, and sometimes we get some technical difficulties. But welcome to another episode of TVL, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of your co-hosts, Luke Belmar, and today we have the pleasure of introducing not just a project that's been around for a couple years, but an ecosystem that's developing. Now, before we get started, Jack, how's your mic? Is it rolling?
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Now you're back, brother. Now you're back. Welcome to
Okay.
TVL.
Yeah, sorry. I went off on a spiel there and then didn't realize I wasn't speaking to you guys. But what I was saying was TVL number 4. Luke, we're back. 4 weeks we've
We're
been
back.
doing this, and we've had 4 great sessions. We're in for another great session with Bozina from GAMEE, who I've spoken to before on a podcast about, I guess, about 4 weeks ago. So it's about when we first started doing this. So, Bozina, great to have you. Great to see you again. It's been a good 4 weeks for GAMEE, I guess. How's things, and tell us a little bit about what GAMEE's doing.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It is like, and there is definitely no slowdown during summer. As in gaming industry, people always expect that people put the devices aside, they go to beach. Not happening with Web3 and definitely not happening with Ton. We have seen a lot of engagement, a lot of activity. But just to step back a little bit, GAMEE is a high engagement mobile gaming platform. We connect players, communities in gaming. We have over 50 games, or actually 100 games over the lifetime of the company that we launched. And our main focus is Telegram. It's pushing games on Telegram, engaging people there. We have been doing that since 2016. So we're really the gaming OG on Telegram. We have 90 million registered users. And there's a lot of going on in our Telegram right now. We're gearing towards a launch of a new asset on Ton Chain, which is a Notcoin. So everybody's participating, engaging, looking forward what that will bring. GAMEE is part of Animoca brands, so really big network of
Yes.
companies and communities. So we're all about building bridges, partnerships, network effect. That's what we do as a company, not only within Animoca brands, but now more and more within Ton, because it's awesome.
Yes. Yes. Love it. So what coin is coming? You're part of Animoca brands, who are our favorite guys right now, because they just keep on partnering up with us, keep on doing things with us, and just making great news with us. So how long have you guys been part of Animoca, and how has that relationship kind of come about? Did GAMEE start as part of Animoca, or was there some kind of joining of some sort?
So GAMEE started back in 2015. So it's almost like 10 years anniversary of the company, and we joined Animoca Brands 2020. So it's almost
Okay.
middle way. So we're all about building games communities without blockchain, and we just added Web3 element on top of it and keep building.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So one piece of news I guess I want to highlight straight off the bat, if we can move to the the screen here, is our new partnership with Animoca, Animoca's Mochaverse. So Animoca's Mochaverse is a new kind of identity protocol. It has an addressable user base of around 700 million. And the Mochaverse partnership basically means that Animoca is trying to bring and migrate all of its games to Ton. That's how we're seeing it. That's how we're kind of really excited about this partnership kind of manifesting. Animoca has 450 portfolio companies, I think, if that's right, Bozina. Many of them Web3 gaming, And this Mochaverse partnership is really the beginning of what we hope to be a mass migration of sorts, and a mass kind of bringing of all of the users of those games over to Ton games, and really just all gelling together in this great ecosystem that GAMEE is now a part of, and to kind of bring those network effects about. So you mentioned, Bozina, the network effects of Animoca brands, obviously 450 companies. How does Animoca and GAMEE, like, how does that work internally? How do you all club together, partner together? Is there some kind of strategy there? I'd love to uncover just a bit about like how that all works internally within the portcos.
So at this scale, it almost resembles, I would say, a decentralized organization, right? Because at the 450 companies that have different objectives or building different things, but you need to find a common ground, and usually the agreement is that we all contribute and push for Web3 to succeed. So the adoption and traction is everybody's interest, right? So the collaborations usually work on looking into who has a specific set of tech that other companies can use, or who has specific IP or content that helps others gain traction, and that, like, the ultimate flow of users. As we compare to Web2, the user acquisition would be, I want to acquire and pay for my users and have them stay with me. Do not ever leave. These are my registrations. As opposed to that, the Web3 approach is more, what can I offer to all of the Web3 users to come from one application or from one experience to another, and just really see free flow because of the interoperability of assets, because of the identities, everything. We just want to see the flow happening. So the collaborations would be, for example, what is it that we can offer in our game for another community, or the other way around? So what is it that somebody else's game can do for our gamers? And this way, it's user acquisition and retention loop kind of packed together. So that's what we're looking to do. And we have done tons of activations with Mochaverse as well, directly on Telegram as well. So it's all connecting. It's all bringing that back home.
Awesome. So we'll get a little bit more. We'll get a lot more into GAMEE as we go through the space. But I just want to touch on what is TVL, because a lot of people may be tuning in right now and they may not know. So Luke, why don't you give us the high level? What is TVL? What are people here for today, and why should they stick around?
The beauty of crypto is the fact that it gives you the ability to unite your actions on the internet, whether it's playing a game or interacting on social media, and in some way, shape, or form, monetize that experience. When you look at games, AAA games nowadays, there's so many hours invested and committed into what? Into the game, into the experience, into the leveling up of the character. But there isn't necessarily real world rewards. There isn't necessarily a fusion with people's lives. Now we're seeing a lot of these Web3 companies understand that if they want to retain users long term, there needs to be more than just a gaming experience. And that's why I think Animoca Brands is doing something extremely special. And what they're doing is the interoperability of IP allows for the cross-pollination of audiences. And the reason this is important is because the goal is to retain the users in the ecosystem. Nowadays, you can look at games during the last bull run that didn't necessarily. Can you hear me? Through their ill performance of not building tech, but user acquisition and user retention, they weren't able to survive. Telegram shows up and says, hey, I have almost 1 billion users. We want to bring them more than just a text messaging experience. We want to bring them the ability to do whatever they want. And part of it is a gaming experience. So now all these Web3 games, all these AAA games are looking at Telegram and saying, hey, what is the path of least resistance to acquire users? What is the path of least resistance, and what is the cheapest way to acquire customers, and how can we ensure that we go to where they are as opposed to them coming to us, because that was the big problem. And Bozina can probably validate this as well. The Telegram ecosystem gives you the access to a wide plethora of users. Now, what is TVL? TVL is a live stream that we do every single week, ladies and gentlemen, covering the latest news in the markets, interacting with the best and hottest projects, building inside of the TON ecosystem, and giving them access to an audience that, once again, is cross-pollinating because they are within the TON ecosystem, are very interested in businesses and companies and projects that are building on top of that. And our goal is to find the best and interact with them. So here we are today with GAMEE. It's a great time. And what I really want to talk about is kind of user acquisition and user retention. But before we go into that, every single week we do something very special. As you guys know, the open network is fueled by the TON token. If you haven't heard of it, you can probably find it in most centralized exchanges today. But every single week, we give away $1,000 in TON. And how we do that is by displaying different words of a seed phrase on the screen throughout the live stream. So if you want to gain access to the $1,000, all you have to do is stick around, take note, insert all of these seed phrase words, and you can tap into the wallet. Now, here's the thing. Every single week, people make the mistake of logging into the wallet and assuming that they get to keep the wallet. That's not how crypto works, right? Everybody's going to get the keys, so you have to be able to pull the money out. And then you're going to have $1,000 in TON to get involved in the ecosystem, to start participating with some of these projects and some of these teams that we're going to be covering and discussing every single week. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah. And so why don't we just get us started? Like, get us kicked right off. Let's put the first 4 words up on the screen straight away. Yeah, there they are. So we got relax, zoo, secret, path. Okay, take them away. That's it. That's all you get, guys. Make sure you keep tuned for the whole event and you'll get all the words. You log into the wallet, snatch all of that TON coin as quick as possible. And yeah, enjoy the $1,000 in TON coin, because TON is really putting crypto in every pocket. And what we do with TON Voices Live is do that every single week, every single Wednesday, 10 p.m. my time. But I actually can't even remember what time it is that we normally have it. It's what, 12 p.m.
11 a.m. Eastern. 11
okay.
11 a.m. Eastern. But since we're traveling, be flexible with us, guys, because as we travel, the schedules might change because we are on the other side of the world right now. We're super excited. We're also, if you guys aren't familiar with the Asia Blockchain Summit that's taking place in Taipei, Taiwan, a lot of people of the TON ecosystem are going to be there. There's going to be many panels hosted. So if you have the opportunity and you're in the APAC region, make sure you pop on out. It's going to be a great time.
For sure. Okay, so user acquisition and user retention. So I want to pick up on a point that Bozina and I chatted a little bit about, a lot about in a podcast that we recorded a few weeks ago. But Bozina, you made such a great point, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Is like what GAMEE had before a blockchain, and before it came onto TON, was they had this integration with Telegram. And the integration with Telegram was ludicrously successful. All of the games were popping off, millions of users, lots of great retention. But when you added the blockchain element, and what does blockchain actually give users? Like, what's the concept that users can feel, touch, and actually understand about why this thing is now valuable? It's ownership. Blockchain gives you, as a user, ownership over something, real ownership, in that now you own something, and when you own something, you can sell it. It may or may not appreciate in value, but you can sell it for something if there's a market for it. And just so happens the crypto market's a pretty buzzing little place where lots of buyers and lots of sellers exist. So when you own a crypto asset, you will be able to sell it. And when you give people in a game the ownership over something, they now feel and understand what crypto is all about. It's putting ownership in your pocket. It's making you be able to own digital things, just like you own your house, just like you own your car, right? Like these are digital things. These are real life things that you could walk out tomorrow and sell because you own them. So I want to pick up on that concept because I think it's such a great concept, and talk a little bit about what happened with GAMEE once you introduced ownership to the games that you have.
It was always kind of our mission to connect people in play and to create a community that goes beyond one game. Because as the content creator that works mainly or mostly in the casual, hyper casual style of games, you want to look beyond individual game and you want to see, like, can we make this bigger? Can we connect people across years of content, for example? And the idea was like introducing, for example, different levels of gamification, right? So if you progress across games, you have some reward recognition that's purely virtual. It does work. You can see that on numbers. So the recognition and the reward, even that, if it doesn't have any monetary value, if you just have it as a thing, like being recognized for your achievement, for your skill, it's already pretty powerful. So somehow taps into psychology of how and why people play games. And whenever this is somehow provable on chain or even has possibility of any monetary value, but it's not essential. It's a consequence of it. But like just when people have that proof of and the recognition in their wallet, it's kind of tradable. They have the sense of, okay, this is actually mine. It's not virtual. It's my achievement. It's my recognition. It empowers them a lot. So it is still somehow a pathway towards, is there a reward that we can give to people for participating, for contributing, for recognizing what they have done for the community or what they have achieved in that game? But it's kind of building on the same gamification ideas or the game ideas that were present before. It's just that having the proof that people own it so they can make decisions about the asset, about the currency outside of that game as well. It shows on the product numbers really strongly. So specifically speaking, you can see retention go up, you can see engagement, time spent, sessions, everything. So it's a very powerful spice to add on top of it. And another, like, this is the ownership, right? Another element is, for example, a social context. So whenever you have a similar type of experience or game being played with somebody you know, or with somebody else, when it turns from single player into multiplayer, even if it's asynchronous, you also see a boost in numbers. And when you have a context like in Telegram, you have the connections, like you have people connected to Telegram. You don't really have to, do anything extra. It's like an existing social network, so you can tap into that. And now the blockchain layer is very seamlessly integrated. So the wallet, the Telegram Connect, everything is very seamless. So you don't really have to force people to do anything unexpected. So you can have both empowerments at once. You have the social network of Telegram, then you have the blockchain tools. So with these two, we could really see strong uplift in our product metrics.
Yeah. And what kind of uplift? Like, what are we talking in terms of numbers wise?
So I think we went from like 400,000 daily active users into 3 million daily active users. Yeah,
right.
Just on Telegram.
So like a 8 times, yeah. seven or 8 times growth.
Yeah,
pretty cool growth. Yeah, I love that. So ownership gives users the ability to kind of feel part of something and feel like they can use that in the ways that they want. And then the social construct of Telegram enables people to share very easily, and so it gives these kind of viral features into applications.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm better than you totally works with humans. Like bragging rights, leaderboards, everything, like the competition.
What's also important to understand on this kind of parallel is that we're seeing an alternative system being formed. When you look at banking, right, the idea of banking, the reason people utilize legacy banking is because it was the only thing that was around. The reason people gamed the way that they gamed the reason that people interacted with video games the way that they interacted with them was because it was the only thing available. There wasn't the idea of monetizing your experience and have that actually be something that you own. This is something that people have been thinking about a lot, but it's something that is now starting to catch on. And all we need is one of these pioneers to really take off, become a household name to the normies, right? To the Candy Crush users, to the Flappy Bird users, to the Angry Bird users, that then now you become pop culture. Once you become pop culture and you marry with crypto, now you enter into mainstream. So that is what I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to the alternative system in the gaming space. As somebody that loves gaming, been gaming for a really long time, I would love to see that, and it doesn't have to just be AAA games. It can be the easy games, the simple games. There's a vast audience for everybody. So that's what I'm looking at, Jack, an alternative system being formed as to how people interact with gaming on a daily basis, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not this little basement dweller ecosystem that, no. There's a lot of people that are really interested in this space, highly invested. And that's what I'm looking at, an alternative system being built that maybe people don't want crypto. Maybe people don't care to own. Okay, that's fine. But what if you do? Now this option is readily available to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's an interesting concept which I was thinking about the other day, which was the top 10 out of the top 10 most valuable companies on the planet. You got Google and Meta, right? They're on that list. And Google and Meta, their revenue predominantly comes from monetizing attention through ads, right? And then there's three other companies on that same list which also make a large portion of revenue from ads. You got Apple from the Apple App Store, you got Amazon on there, and you've also got I can't remember the other one, but there's another one there, Microsoft through Bing ads, right? And so all of the 5 out of 10 companies on the most valuable companies list, their main business model, or one of their main business models, is monetizing attention. There is actually only one finance company on that list, which is Berkshire Hathaway, who's a massive hedge fund, right? So is it finance? Is it DeFi that's going to onboard the masses to crypto, or is it monetizing attention, and is it gaming? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's obviously from a gaming person, you will hear attention in gaming, right? Especially in a segment like our company is, where it's all about attention, it's all about scale. So it's I think we have all agreed on that several times, that we believe that gaming has the potential to bring a lot of users into Web3, because it sounds obvious to us. It's everything is baked in already, like the understanding of virtual identities, of virtual assets, the recognition, the achievement, the contribution to communities. It's already present in the industry. What's not present yet is some level of expectations or even education from the consumers about their rights, basically, right? So about the property rights in the digital space is not expected among the mass audience. It's not expected that they will own something if it's virtual. So the education and the expectation, what the rules of the games are, it's still the advantage skews towards the big companies that have and keep all the attention, with the pitch that we will deliver the product to you for free, and we monetize your attention without any control or share on the value. And this is something, these are terms that we all agreed with, like clicking yes, agree, go and create profile on Facebook or whichever game. But I think the more we progress into understanding that, as we invest more time of our time, relationships, building identities, or even money into virtual assets, we will just build the expectations that some property rights around that are required, necessary. So we maybe at the scale of mass audience, we're not speaking about 2025. Maybe it's a little bit more, but I think this is inevitable, and the expectations and make that as a requirement will be kind of set it will be like normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And the if sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of like monetizing attention, you see like the interesting model with, say, Notcoin, for instance, how they've kind of pivoted towards, at first they were just tap to earn, and then after that they became a kind of traffic redistribution tool. Right now you can go on Notcoin, you can list your project there, and the Notcoin community is going to see that and then come into your project, right? So it's like more of like an ads monetization strategy. Do you think that GAMEE games are going to follow that kind of same kind of model, or do you use that kind of model now? How does that work with you guys?
We do actually, we do. So in the case of Notcoin as well as in our case, so by monetizing the attention is basically we're offering users reward for coming. So instead of paying the ad network, you're figuring out what is the reward you can do in the game to offer that directly to users, so they kind of have piece of the value that you would otherwise go through an ad network. So it's more like community to community, and so on. It's one of the launches that we had this week is a partnership with Notcoin. You mentioned them, so we can touch on that a little bit. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So we have a partnership with Notcoin. Oh, you have that there. Okay, cool.
I've got it here in my notes.
Oh, nice.
GAMEE partners with Notcoin. So tell us about the partnership. How's it going to work? What's the value that Notcoiners are going to get? What's the value that GAMEE guys are going to get?
This is it actually is a good example of user acquisition / monetization. So we picked Notcoin for this partnership because the essence of how they build Notcoin and the coin itself as community first is very close to what we're doing with Botcoin. So our Botcoin launch is community first, no vesting, no investors, which is really like earned. Attention translates into a token launch on Chain. And for this partnership with Notcoin, we're thinking, okay, what is the we need to offer value to Notcoiners and Notcoin, right? So what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
They have a user base that shares kind of the same values with what we're building. So like really, really simply, just an invitation. If you come to our GAMEE Telegram app and you have a balance of Notcoin, you can prove that you're part of the community with your asset in the wallet. We just give you a reward in Watt points, and the Watt points are access to future rewards in our game. So it's very, very simple, but it's a powerful way how you can see, okay, based on something you hold in another ecosystem, we give you a reward. So it's as easy as that, and it just like works like magic.
Exactly. And this is the network effect at play, right? This is perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Notcoin already has 40 million users.
Yeah.
What GAMEE also has millions of users, but maybe they want to get access to Notcoins as users as well.
Yep.
Now you have this simple Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I just was wanting to this is why blockchain is beautiful, right? Because you don't actually, if you're watching as a project, you don't need any partnership for that. You can just you can say, okay, I'm gonna check a wallet of the user that comes, and I can decide whichever asset they hold, I'm gonna reward them. So that's the beauty of the interoperability. You can build anything with any asset from any project.
Yeah, I guess the issue with that kind of approach, though, just doing it without telling people or like having like a partnership is like then people think your token's like a scam. That happens all the time, because I don't know if you've seen in Ton wallets now, people are just dropping random like NFTs and all kinds of different things that are more likely than not scams. Happens a lot. So if you do get an NFT to your Ton wallet, just do your own research on it before you click any links or anything like that, because they can be dangerous. But yes, the network effect is very, very important here, and it's definitely at play with this kind of partnership. And you can see how as more and more games like GAMEE games launch, more and more games inside of Notcoin launch, the audiences grow and the partnership becomes even more and more valuable. And then also, you've got more games launching that GAMEE could partner with new audiences in different countries, and maybe GAMEE wants to plug into that. And so they would do another partnership with a different game that would have a different audience. And so this is the network effect, and it being all on one blockchain allows this amazing kind of retention of users and speed of uptake of the partnership as well to happen. I believe like the more partnerships like this that happen, the more quickly the Tong community will realize it, adapt, immediately take advantage, and then start to use the game, start to play in it, start to experience what the ecosystem has to hold. So
Can I add something to that, Jack?
absolutely, yeah.
So what I like about this ecosystem build out is what people seem to neglect in crypto is that the community needs incentives. They need a reason to stick around, right? So many teams haven't built the proper infrastructure and the proper incentives for the community to stick around. If people didn't believe that Bitcoin, right, was going to be worth X amount of dollars, or that it was the freedom coin, X, Y, and Z, anti-Fed, then they wouldn't what? They wouldn't be incentivized to work on it. So even Bitcoin being completely decentralized still has incentive mechanisms built into it. So when you're building in the gaming space, what is the incentive for people to stick around? And incentivization can look, differently to everybody. But when you look at the Web3 games that really took off during last bull run, they were really focused on third world countries. They were focused on emerging ecosystems, and people were utilizing these games and basically earning full-time livings, which proves that there's a proof of concept as to how far you can push the actual user experience. You can actually change the user's experience in the real world as well, not just the game itself. So it's really cool that you can build incentive mechanisms that actually arrive that deep.
Yeah. Oh man, we've had so many of these incentive mechanisms now impacting the real world. The Catism, for one, is now donating their revenue that they've received from the game to feed stray cats. I think Hamster Combat guys have they've been tried to be banned in many countries because people play it too much, and they're so addicted to it. So it's like Pokemon Go in places like Uzbekistan. The real world impact of these things is there. It's clear for everyone to see. And it's I think what was missing though before, when you had like Axie and things like that, is you had the initial period of excitement, but you didn't have enough users, new people coming in, and then new things for them to do beyond only Axie, right? So you needed both of those. If you had both of those, like if you had new users that were coming in and you had more things for people to do in that ecosystem, then they would be retained and stayed in the ecosystem and continued to play and continued to come back to Axie. But because
oh, sorry, continue. My bad. I was getting excited there. My bad.
No.
I was getting excited. I was getting there excited.
Go.
So I was just gonna follow. I was just gonna lay up off of you there, Jack, and just express why Telegram is so important in this, because it's a multifaceted. It's not just the fact that you could build a game on Telegram. No. EA Sports could actually come and just have a Telegram channel and directly communicate with 10 million users, live stream broadcast their new game release. Right, the use case is so vast. Every company, every game should have an understanding that the Telegram ecosystem is full of people. It's not a messaging application. It's a social media network. And once we think social media network, most people, because they haven't, they stick on Instagram or Facebook because that's like the things that people used to use. So they think that that's what a social media platform is, but there's more to it. There's more to it. So when I have the ability to, instead of sending out an email or pinging somebody, PlayStation pinging somebody on their PlayStation console, like, hey, here's a notification update. No, you actually have the ability to tap into people's communication platforms directly. So instead of having, let's say Grand Theft Auto has 90 million views in the first 24 hours or 100 million views in the first 24 hours on YouTube, that's great. But how are you converting and retaining all of this audience? What are you doing with all of this traffic? Where are you retaining all of these people? How do you make sure that all of this attention that you're getting, you're not only capturing it, but you're retaining it? Oh, well, you got email marketing. Well, the new generation doesn't do that, right? Like, I don't know the last time I checked my work email, let alone my personal spam email that I utilize to sign up for stuff. So what is the next best thing with the path of least resistance, high conversion rates, that is super user friendly and gives you customization capabilities like never before? It's Telegram. So I genuinely believe this is a multifaceted approach so that builders that are building games and other ecosystems, you're not left out, right? Like, you're not left out. You can still utilize Ton, you can still use Telegram in different ways, but you want to be able to capture an audience and own the channel that you communicate with. It doesn't matter if you have 10 million followers on YouTube, you don't own it. You don't. Like, it's cool, but you don't own it. You need to own the attention, and the Ton ecosystem gives you the capabilities to do that.
Yep. And it enables you to use the success of all the other projects to springboard your own success on top, right? It's like success doesn't just finish with one project. It compounds to all the others because it's so easy to access all the others in Telegram. You don't need to leave the app. You just go straight to the other thing. You don't need to be user of app A and not user of app B. You can be user of all of them. Granted, it takes with these clickers, it does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to be users of all of them. But they're only asking you to spend your time and attention. And if it's not fun, there'll be another clicker that's better orientated or is a better game. It's more fun for you. And that's another one you can spend your time in, and you're going to get rewarded later on through that one. So I would challenge people that have problems with clickers in the way that they're going about things, because there have been some issues in the community recently around, some people don't like the fact that companies are making revenue from these tap to earns. They think that they should just be able to tap on a screen and get a massive airdrop for nothing, with money out of thin air. They don't realize that there's massive businesses behind these games that are trying to build sustainable businesses. This is a good thing, guys. It's a fantastic thing. Real businesses on blockchain. Like, this is the goal, right? This is what we're all here to do. But somehow some people feel a little bit hurt by the fact that they're being used in their minds, by their time is being used to tap, and then the company is making revenue. You're being used all over the place, guys, on these social media platforms just by scrolling, right? Your data is being used. Your internet search history is being used by Google to sell you ads in the Google search results. Same with Microsoft. Same with Apple App Store. Same with Amazon. All of this is you being used in some kind of way. At least with the tap to earn games, you know what you're getting. You're going to spend some time, and you're going to spend maybe a bit of money on some transaction fees. You're going to spend some money on things that you might find fun, and you know what? You may well lose all that money. It may not turn into a massive airdrop for you, but play the ones that you're having fun playing. Play the ones that you want to play. Don't play because you're just looking out for the airdrop, right? Like, don't do that. Do it because you want to do it. So that's my rant over on that side of things. But
talking about incentives, we got some words to show, Jack. Take it away. We got to flash the first 4, the second 8, and then the next 12, because of where we are currently on the time of the stream. We could pull up the first 12 words and we can start rolling it. As you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, we give away every single week $1,000 in TON token to one lucky person that sticks around to the end of the stream. We're going to be revealing all the words of the seed phrase. You get to tap these into a TON wallet, and you are able to withdraw the $1,000 in TON. First come, first serve. Remember, you don't own the wallet just by putting in the seed phrase words. You have to be able to withdraw the money to another wallet whose keys are private. Let's flash those 12 words one more time. Let's do it just one more time. Let's be gracious with these people.
Okay.
All right.
Relax.
This is the last time we're showing the first
secret path.
All the way to 12.
Kick woman, son. Great. Inspire, knife, shadow, recipe. Okay. So we got 20 minutes to get through the rest. We got another 12 to get through. So Bozina, tell us about this announcement here, which is the Watt Racer. 1 million drivers in 24 hours. What a start.
Yeah, we spoke about incentives, and in our case, there is a lot of users collecting Watt points, and they have been playing a mining game that has a mascot. The mascot is Wattbird, and we just launched a new game which is more entertaining. It's not just simply tapping to mine; it's actually a racing game, and Wattbird is racing as the racer. It's actually the mascot of our upcoming coin. So the Watt coin has the mascot of the Wattbird. That's the launch on TON, and Wattbird is a guy, is a meme, but he's more like a personality of an kind of average degen that's not doing so great. It's like constantly looking for ways how to get to moon, but oftentimes just gets stuck in his room, and he smoked. Basically, that's out of brief. Like the team did it anyway, and don't smoke, but he smokes. And now he races, and the race starts in a shopping cart. But if you invite enough friends to play with you, you can level up and you can race in a Lambo. So that's this week's launch. There's a lot of engagement, a lot of activity around that because it's just fun. There's a progression in like how good of a car you can race. Why would you do it? When you have a better car, racing with more friends, you're earning more Watt points. So there's this gamification layer around that. And it's just fun. It ties back to the meme of the guy of Wattbird. It has its own social, so the X, the Wattbird, as well as Telegram channel. It's full of memes, and people are having fun, and they're starting to contribute back with what's what. And it's just really lot of fun. That is a gamified point collection on Telegram that's viral and social, and people have been enjoying that a lot. So I encourage everybody to go and try. It sits within GAMEE's Telegram mini app that kind of has a takeover right now. So the racer is on the first screen there.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to go and try this one out. I've not tried it yet. So this was, when was this announced? It was a few days ago.
I think it's a few days ago. Yeah, and we were just like looking into, okay, so the tap to earn is really a big thing. The point fi is a big thing. It's all attention game, but it's like you want to add something, you want to add some novelty and some type of experience to really stand out and to offer entertainment, right? Because if I look back into how GAMEE had built entertainment, let's say in like last year and the year before, we still had 200 million gameplays every month, and there was no airdrop, no point fi, nothing, just gameplay. Right. And now with the gamifications and with the tools and the wallets, obviously there's a lot more attention, but we understand that it's about the content. There is an incentive, and you address that really well. Like people are expecting, I'm gonna tap, I'm gonna turn into a millionaire. So it's kind of like there's this feeling like this could be real because there have been many projects such as Notcoin that, like turned really well and broke the glass ceiling in a way. What's possible on chain, how many holders you can get and how many market value you can create. But it's still about entertainment, right? So the Whatbirds are kind of our take on this wave, and it's doing really well. This is the guy.
I agree with Bozy.
On the game, he wants to on the screen. No problem.
I agree with
we need to take his ass down.
I agree with Bozina. The games bring, you have to have the incentive. But once you have the incentive, if you don't have the experience, then you're done. You need the incentive and you also need the experience. The duality of both is necessary because you are competing with teams, believe it or not, that understand that you need incentives and you need experience. Focusing on just one alone is not going to take you far in this space. You have to have both. Like Bozina was saying, you need to have that element where people want to stick around. Yeah, cool airdrop, no airdrop. Not, guys, listen, not every project is going to do an airdrop. Some projects are just utilizing the infrastructure that TON is building because it's a dope place to build. The assumption that every project is going to launch a token just because they're on TON isn't necessarily true. I've seen so many games, so many mini games. They're not thinking about a token, but the path of least resistance for an experience is there. So you can have that duality as well.
Yeah, and exactly right. Like it's about the entertainment factor. Don't play games that bore you and it's just the same thing over and over again. Like, what's the point, guys? So you're gonna make maybe what, like $50 on an airdrop, $20, like to play a game for months and months? No, don't do it. Just play the games that you think are fun. And if something ends up being like you end up getting an airdrop for that, fantastic. More power to you, right? You've done well in the game and you played it and you've enjoyed it. You've had a good time, and now you're getting paid to do it, right? Everything is up to you. It's your choice.
And adding to the degen culture that we exist in, if you go to the App Store, I'm not going to name drop them because obviously no need to, but there are tap games on the App Store. You go on the Apple App Store, and they're really good, but you don't get anything. Like there's nothing to look forward to except level up the character to a point that it's just like ridiculous, and the numbers are in the trillions and quadrillions and gazillions, and like it's an infinity loop. At least in this space, right? There may or may not be that risk factor. They may or may not be that factor of uncertainty. These are things that a centralized game, a game that it's already has written rules, they're not going to give you. They're making money off of you upgrading, your sword or your skin and getting rid of the ads, right? Because they spam you with ads to bother you. So you can also have this perspective whereby it's not just the fact that there are other games in the centralized space that are competing that have a good experience, but there's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing exciting that could potentially happen. There's no potential drama. There's no gamblify factor attached to it, which all of these things are super necessary. The thrill-seeking factor of, hey, what could this turn into? When I go into the App Store and I'm playing a tap game, there is no tap to earn. There is nothing. It's just tap, 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 dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. And that's it. There could be something else, but no, you can't do that because you're in the App Store and you have rules that you got to follow. So within the Telegram ecosystem, you have a lot more freedom, and your user base has the ability to experience exhilaration and the ability to experience excitement because there's things that you have more flexibility to do.
Kind of like Jack's point on monetization, and I think that the more communities understand that if project monetizes, that can share part of the revenue back with the community as rewards, and the more they make, the more they can share, is a very sustainable model. And this is something that we've been doing even back in Web 2, and now looking replicating the same with Web3. It's just the same principle, right? So you're offering entertainment, you're offering monetization touch points, and you're taking part of the revenue to reinvest back in the content and part of revenue to give back to players. So this way, it's something that you can continue investing in the content and reward the community for being around, for inviting friends, for playing the game. So this is something that's very, very solid. And anything such as in our case, the Notcoin is a massive gamified airdrop. It's a one large scale reward and thank you for the community and the attention. But then like long term, really, you have to adopt the same principle, like monetization layer, reinvest into content and share the revenue back with the community. That's the only way how to build long-term entertainment solid product.
Yes, exactly that. And this is where the community this is where I feel there's very much a lack of understanding here. And I want to highlight this point because you absolutely hit it nail on the head. Is these projects that are making revenue before even a token exists is a fantastic model, right? That means that they're proving that they can be sustainable and that they're looking at business metrics as a company trying to build something sustainable. The fact that they have revenue is a fantastic thing pre-token, because that means that maybe, and I'm not saying that this could be the case for all of them, and I'm definitely not giving any kind of financial advice here at all in any way, shape, or form. But if a project reasonably has revenue before a token, and then they are planning on launching a token, the model is already there for redistribution of that revenue into the holders, right? And this is where the potential for these games to become like more similar to kind of a YouTube, where they're creating content which is highly entertaining, you're playing it, and then you're receiving some of the value back into your crypto wallet. This is the model that these games are well, it's the exact model that Notcoin's pursuing, right? It's the model.
Yeah. It's very interesting that you say that. It is truly the model, Jack. And when you were talking and you were kind of laying this out, what kind of started brewing in my mind back to the idea of incentives and experience is that the incentive, and this is me talking to the communities, because we've observed how communities have been operating over the last couple of weeks. The incentive and the experience of the team is just as important as the incentive and the experience of the community. The community's job is to ensure that the team has proper incentives and a proper experience, because they're still human. If they don't have proper incentives, if they don't have a good experience, right? Anytime they launch an update, okay, well, what's next? 20 minutes later, it's like, bro, we just worked 8 months to drop this, and you're asking me what's next. It's like, relax, right? It's like, okay, relax. So the teams need to understand, or the community needs to understand that teams also here need incentives. So for you to say, oh, well, these people are supposed to spend millions of dollars and invest this plethora of time and hundreds of people working towards an endeavor, and well, no, they just have to work for free, and this is how, no, it doesn't work that way either. So the community, it's a back and forth. The symbiosis of the relationship is really interesting, because it needs to be fine-tuned. And I think the teams that begin to realize that they can be transparent, and they can be like, hey, this is our monetization model, this is how we make money, this is our idea, this is our plan. That's what the name of the game is. You don't have to have a community that tells you that a symbiotic relationship with a community. Go to the App Store. Like you can go do a Fortnite or whatever, where maybe you listen to the community, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. But once again, we're talking about the alternative system. If you choose to adopt the alternative system, now you understand that you can play the idea of building a business in a more democratic, decentralized way and incorporate other users. But the users also need to understand that in this relationship, because there's a back and forth, you also have to be able to understand that the team, and you're going to help build that, have a good experience and a good incentivization plan, so that symbiotically they will give you a better experience, and hopefully you're able to build on top of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100.
I saw Bozina nodding her head, and she's like, "What do you think?" What do you think? What do you think?
We need some more words in here.
Oh, yeah. Words here? Oh, yeah,
sorry,
okay.
sorry to interrupt. Interrupt Bozina, but I mean, we're 3 minutes out. We need the next 8. I think we only got up to 12.
Let's do it. Let's do
next. So people are asking, let's put up the next 8 words. Let's quickly flash the next 8 words. This is read them out, Jack. Oh, go back.
Okay, so that's
go back real quick.
7. So here we go. Inquiry, neither, often, point, and on to 17 to 20. And then we've got valve, blur, situate, and sealing. So
for those that don't know what this is, these are the words that you need to input to the seed phrase to unlock the $1,000 in ton that we give away here at TVL, Jack and I, every single week. It's going to be a great time. We have 4 more words left. And yeah, Bozina, I would like to get your closing thoughts on this double symbiotic relationship, the incentive and the experience, but also from both sides. Because there's also a lot of builders and they're afraid to talk to their community and be like, hey, this is how we actually feel. Like, this is our thoughts. That's happened. Yeah. Like, guys, I'm part of a lot of teams. I hear these things. Like, me and Jack hear this all the time. So the teams also walk on eggshells and they're like, hey, can we actually be ourselves? Can we do what we want to do? Or are we going to get backlash? So Bozina, take it away. What do you think?
Well, it's absolutely like you were describing that so well. It's like, it's almost like builders and founders in Web3 kind of need some group therapy time by time. It's just because it's very fast paced, it's very telling. The communities can be very unforgiving as well as very supportive, but that can change like within hours, right? And it's just because it's so fast paced, so much trend driven. Everybody's expecting to see building in public and immediate results, and there's supposed to be one launch after another. It's a constant pressure, and I think there is one wish I would like to. I would wish for any project to be able to do is like, we're still quite early, and the industry will mature over time, which means that there will be many projects that will work and many that will not work. And as in startup world, the same in Web3, there has to be a good way how to say, okay, this didn't work, let's try to change it. And the community ideally is very supportive. It's like, okay, we see it didn't work as well, let's change it, let's pivot, right? Or basically a good way how to fail. And this is a little bit tricky and challenging because you still want to stand to your commitment. You want to deliver, especially if you have longevity of assets, right? So you're distributing, for example, NFTs or game currency, and let's say the game does not work out. So it happens all the time. Like, I think even Angry Birds, like, they launched 100 games before they made that with Angry Birds, right? So what's a good way how to pivot? What's a good way how to figure out? Because we constantly have to figure out, the models change, expectations change. So just a little bit of the support from community to understand it's almost a miracle when there is a team and they do their first try, it works out on the first try. That's not normal. Yeah, that's unrealistic.
If you pull it off, you're crushing it. Absolutely. I fully agree. And I see it symbiotically on both sides. This has been a great TVL. I think we need to this. I'm enjoying this, Jack. What do you think? I'm having a great time. But before we go, I know you got to go because I know it's late. I'm on the same time zone. But can we cover the news for the next 3 minutes real quick? Can we cover what's taken place this week? Can we cover that for the 5 minutes?
There's been some exciting announcements. We can quickly run through it because there have been some crazy stuff popping up this week. We've got Bitcoin prices see a wild trading as Trump plans to establish Bitcoin as a US strategic asset. Wow, what a piece of news that is. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, did you get a chance to watch his keynote?
I did. Yeah. It was pretty comical, to be honest.
It was epic. It was epic because it was Donald Trump, right? So the one thing that stood out to me is whether this individual understands or believes in Bitcoin or doesn't, whether he's utilizing it to gain votes or not, it doesn't matter. The people around him understand that this is something that's extremely valuable. When you look at the people that were at the Bitcoin conference, you're not looking at basement dweller, like people that don't have jobs. You have the top echelons of finance being represented in that room. And the former president of the United States verbatim says Bitcoin is going to the moon. I don't know what multiverse alternative reality we're living in, but For the former president of the most powerful nation in the world to say that Bitcoin, what used to be considered a casino coin, to say that Bitcoin could potentially become, and he will make it, the established, establish a strategic reserve, but also that it's going to the moon, and using Bitcoin and crypto and degen language is absolutely phenomenal. So I look forward to the next 12 months. I look forward to the next 18 months. I don't know what it holds. I will tell you that it's going to be crazy, but it's nothing that we aren't used to. Another roller coaster, another day in the markets, another day in crypto. We've come back from death multiple times before. We've seen the Bahalas, we've seen the peaks multiple times. So I'm ready for another one on this journey. This is getting really crazy.
Yeah. I'll open up to your thoughts next, Bezina, but we really everyone here listening on this call, everyone on the call, we've all actually built an industry out of nothing, digital industry that wasn't there before, trillions of dollars of new value that now literally cannot be ignored. It's grown so big that it cannot be ignored.
You tweeted about that the other day.
Exactly.
You tweeted about it the other day. You were basically saying we created an industry that now they have to notice us. Like now they don't have a choice because we're actually important. And look at what Ton's building. It's important. I was sitting at dinner today across from some people, and we were talking about remittances. And obviously I don't want to get into the entire spiel, but the excitement of the ability to send money from username to username as a path of least resistance is something that makes me super excited about. And these are the things, the innovations where people look at you, they're like, we got to take you seriously. Like, what is Western Union? Who cares about Western Union? Who cares about Visa, MasterCard, when I can just send money to your Telegram username? $10 million if I want to. It's crazy. It's phenomenal. Exactly. They have to pay attention. They can't ignore us. And this has been built by the collective effort between incentive and experience from both community and building.
Yep. And just to touch on what you mentioned there, the remittance thing, is we just introduced this week, Ton has launched a new update. It was first pioneered by the Ton Keeper team. The Ton Keeper team launched the new W5 Start Smart Wallet. So the smart wallet is basically a much more efficient wallet standard for Ton. It's going to be adopted by all of the non-custodial wallets. But basically what it introduces, there's several core things, is one, gasless fees. So now you can pay your Ton transaction fee in USDT or actually in Notcoin as well, in Ton Keeper's case. So Ton Keeper wallet now has that live. You can actually go and use that right now. You can transfer your assets over to your W5 wallet. And then as soon as you've done that, any transaction you make, you'll just use whatever cryptocurrency that you are sending. So if you're sending USDT, you'll use USDT. If you're sending Notcoin, you'll use Notcoin. If you're sending Ton, you'll use Toncoin. This is a great new thing for mass adoption, because many people have the problem when they first get a wallet. It's like, oh, how do I make a transaction? I can't do it because I don't actually have the base asset. I don't have the Ton to actually send some USDT. So now this makes it so much easier for users to actually get started. And it's a really key announcement, key thing that's happened over the last week for Ton. Very, very proud of the community for doing that, because Ton Keeper is actually it's a community team. It's not part of the core development team. They decided to, on their own accord, over the last 6 months, to be focused on building this themselves. And then they got in touch with the core devs once they got to a certain level and we're like, guys, can you help us? And we've really made a lot of headway here. Can we make this a real standard for the whole of Ton ecosystem? And then the core devs worked with Ton Keeper to really make it a standard across all wallets. So this is a real community initiative. It emerges from people seeing the issues of onboarding. It proves really how focused every Ton project is at really making onboarding so easy in Ton and Telegram. So great new tool for everyone building, but also great new tool for users. Bezina, Are you excited about the smart wallet?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I haven't tested it myself. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try after the live stream. That sounds really great. Great work.
Nice, nice,
All right.
cool.
As we wrap up, got a couple more words to display, Jack. Take us away.
Yeah, so let's bring up with what is it, the last three, and then what are we gonna do
I'm
with the
gonna have
last?
you. I'm gonna have you shout. I'm gonna have you. This one, I want you to tweet it. I want you to tweet the 24th word this time. Hagen and backstage, send a Telegram message to Jack. I want Jack. If you guys go to Jack's profile real quick, you can tap on his icon. Jack will tweet the
Yeah,
24th
go
word.
to
But hey, Jack, type it backwards. Type it backwards, just so we troll them a little bit.
type it
Now you guys
backward.
are going to understand experience. Now you guys are going to
Okay.
understand experience. You want to talk about experience and incentive? Okay, there you go. Experience and incentive. Flip the words, mirror it for them. I'll give you a couple seconds there. Here's the thing,
Okay.
guys. Crypto is exciting. Crypto is here to stay. And what we're doing here every single week is bringing the hottest news, the latest understanding of what Ton is building. When you tune in every single week, this is the place to be. This is the place to
Okay,
be. There's a lot of noise, a lot of stuff
I
happening.
just want to
Here you go.
confirm. I've tweeted from my Twitter at JBFX DOT me at JBFX.me. Go to my Twitter. I've tweeted it backwards, guys. So yeah, you've got to anagram it. It's backwards. And yeah, go
Congratulations.
get
Congratulations to
your
whoever the
tongue.
winner is.
Yep. Get your Tonkeeper wallet, get in there, take the money and run. It's your chance. You've got one shot, one opportunity at this. Go.
Or
All right,
next week.
guys. Oh yeah, of course. Until next week. Actually, well, we may as well tell everyone next week will be the 1 week where we might be off because Luke and I are both going
because
to
we
be.
are going to be in ABS.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to have to take a week off next week, but we will be back the week after without fail, and we will be here. So, Bazina, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely having you on, lovely seeing you again. I can't wait to get our podcast out that goes into all these details that we've been talking about and all these concepts in so much more detail. But yeah, lovely to see you again. Thanks for coming on, and Luke. Same again to you, my brother. Always good to hang out and chop it up. Until the next time, guys. This is TVL4.
See you in the next
Over,
TVL.
over and out.